up any parenting book or check out the websites, and they'll be loaded with information and reasons for and how to establish daily routines for you and your newborn. Some will suggest a more relaxed approach for these early weeks along the lines of just go with the flow. Others recommend more rigid regimens. All of them will damn you to hell if you don't stick to their suggestions. Babies do love routines, and they can be of great benefit to you and the rest of your family as well. They help to comfort the baby, establish sustainable sleeping and eating patterns, and can go a long way to reducing the stress and worry about that, what was I supposed to be doing now? And what time of day is it? It can all become a bit of a blur. My recommendation is to find the solution that sits best with you, your baby, your family, and most importantly, your personality. How strict do you want to be with your routine, and how are you going to implement it? Here's some basic information about newborns. The first 6 weeks of your baby's life, give or take 18 months, they'll pretty much eat and sleep. Oh, and poo a lot, and probably cry a fair bit, but never ever when you plan for it. For our purpose in establishing a routine, we really only need to worry about the eating, sleeping thing. Babies generally feed approximately every 4 hours, yes, including overnight, regardless of whether they are breast or bottle fed. It's unlikely that your baby will be sleeping through, roughly translated as some extremely late hour at night, until some ridiculously early hour the following morning, before 12 weeks, give or take 6 years. Feeds can take up to an hour, then there's a settling back to sleep. This can take anything from 10 minutes to 3 hours. So let's go with 30 minutes for the purpose of this segment. So you have an hour of feeding, half an hour of settling, leaving you with 2.5 hours to do whatever it is that needs doing before the next feed. Oh yeah, that 4 hours between feeds, it starts when Bub starts his feed, and not when you put him back to sleep. Sorry about that. So be kind to yourself. There's not a lot of time and there's so much to be done. Getting enough rest for yourself is essential, so make sure you use some of these short bouts of free time to get some downtime. Otherwise, you'll slowly lose your mind and wonder why the car keys are in the leftover lasagna. Again. Read a book, have a nap, create and print signs for your door indicating you are currently not in a fit mental state to be entertaining anybody. We covered all the fun things you can do while baby is asleep in a previous segment. Rather than trying to get everything done each day, work on establishing weekly routines for the household tasks that just must be done. For example, choose a day for the clothes washing, another for making the bed, another for scrubbing the bathroom, and another for vacuuming and sweeping. Make sure you schedule a day off for yourself. Also, make sure you schedule in some time for you to eat. Oh, and go for a wee. That's essential. Things may pile up a little, but once you get into it and you know what you're in for, things will be more efficient and you can juggle your routine to suit your needs. Before you know it, you'll simply slip into a great routine without even having to think about, what now? After 2 to 3 weeks, you'll have your routine down pat, starting with kicking your partner in the back to retrieve the baby for you at stupid o'clock so you can feed them. Then grumbling at him the next morning about getting his own damn breakfast. After all, you're not his mother. And think about how long it's been since you've last had a shower. Perhaps you might like to ponder whether your pyjama pants would actually pass for tracksuit pants if you do go outside, and will you look like that active and with it mum who's out for her daily walk that you can picture in your head? Go for your walk anyway, probably with an unscheduled screaming baby and vomit in your hair. Return home, collapse on the couch, contemplate various activities such as washing the sheets and preparing the evening meal. Make some vague attempts at doing so, and then explain to your partner when he returns home that you've been far too busy all day and that you haven't had time to even think about the evening meal. And surely Vegemite on toast constitutes several food groups. Technically speaking, toasting is cooking. In a few days, and depending on your ability to effectively communicate just how this new routine will operate, your partner will just get up and get the baby and stop asking stupid questions relating to meals expected at reasonable hour in the evening. We usually refer to this as dinner time. I suggest an organiser of some description so everyone knows what's going on. Stick it to the fridge, or perhaps nail it to their head. Establishing consistent routines, therefore, is helpful to the entire family. The baby will feel settled and eventually learn what's happening next, readying themselves for the next feed, sleep or play. You'll feel slightly more relaxed, anticipating the next part of your day, and in a few short days, slipping into a routine where you just do things without thinking about them. As for the rest of the family, They'll also know what's happening and begin to understand what is expected of them. So you will only have to ask them to do things 7 times and not the standard 406. They'll also know not to ask what's for dinner and where are my socks or why are your runners in the freezer again, saving you the hassle of inquiring as to why you have to do everything around here in a very loud voice. Of course, once his 12 weeks is up and the baby starts to hopefully sleep through and sleep less during the day, you get to work out a whole new routine.
Coming up next, the top must-have nursery products.